and we'll see a replay here.
Yeah, actually must be on the outside somewhere. Oh yeah, yeah, that's it. He must have dropped back.
As a 16-year-old Spaniard, and Mario Aggi, the first of them. And they're coming under starters' orders for the last 17 laps of Rookies Cup action for 2020. The lights are on, they're off, and everybody gets a good clean start, and the pole man Danny Holgado has the advantage. Pedro Acosta is there into second place. I don't think David Salvador got off the line quite as he would wish. No, he's been swallowed up by the bunch, and in fact it's the 64.
Holgado also gets the whole shot but moves into the middle of the track just to block Pedro Acosta a little bit. Did exactly the same today, as I said, perfectly legal, and Pedro Acosta tucking into second, but it looks like he's jumped to the front. Yeah, and he has, and in fact Holgado's gone back to third place because the 64 of David Munoz has got past him, so Acosta leads. David Munoz in second place. Holgado is in third, ahead of the 11th of Alexis, number 11 of Alexis Krieg. Aggi is there in fifth place. Salvador in sixth. Van der Gerberg in seventh. Like there wasn't a lot of grip, and he has to be careful there getting on the green concrete. Really interesting, like last week, and you picked up on it, Pedro Acosta's bike, and it's the only bike, was sitting on the grid. A little bit of steam, a little bit of smoke coming out from the fairing as he was sitting there. We had that last week, and it didn't come. Overflow bottle caused that steam. Well, it's all shuffle and change at the front of the pack there. And and somebody's got a technical issue, and of course, oh dear, that's the end of David Salvador. Technical problem, obviously so rare in this with these KTM this season, but yeah, such a shame.
So Acosta is there, and let's see if he can split and get away from these guys. But already Holgado is taking the battle back.
And in the leading bunch.
And Holgado pulls out of the slipstream of Pedro Acosta side by side. They're three abreast now on the brakes. Who's going to be the brave one? In fact, it is the 96 of Danny Holgado who's bravest on the brakes. It was a beautiful move, wasn't it, Neil? He must have passed two guys without upsetting anybody. Yeah, that was his signature move yesterday. He's good everywhere else in the track, but he's certainly really strong there into turn two. You're right in the temperature because we're running a bit of tape if it gets over a certain temperature. Cup standings there, very interesting. Ortola, Alonso, Munoz, and Ortola in fact crossed the line down in 8th place on that last lap. So Acosta still leads. Oh, and there is determined to regain that second place in the title that he was actually carrying until yesterday's race, when of course he fell off at the last corner. Yeah, pretty much everyone in the sort of top 10 of that front bunch there, they're broken away from the group at the back. Scott Ogden, the Brit, he's there. Scott's been carrying the field, I think, at the moment. The others, of course, take the battle to them, but they really are very strong. They're good mates. They enjoy battling each other, and it was Holgado's mistake when he went down, and Acosta grip, but it looks so much better today. And we've got the bunch now. It's down to 14th, 15th place. There's 14 to 15 guys in that battle for the podium places. 10 guys, three abreast off the end of the start and finish straight, but it's Acosta who's bravest into that left-hander. And the 7 of Daniel Munoz, who we saw him run wide before, but he's kept it on the track that time. Yeah, just got pushed. Talking to some of the guys in the other classes, because it's Ripley, you need some not too stiff high-speed damping, so that it allows the tyres and the wheels and the suspension to move over the lip. From throughout yesterday's race, they just lost out in the last few laps, just got shuffled back 3 or 4 positions. Yeah, ended up, he finished in 5th position, but he was certainly a podium contender for most of the race. Great slow-mo shot there, heading into turn 1. Yeah, and you can see the suspension, the seats moving around there. I said, these guys have now learned to race with me. So, you know, whether he has something up his sleeve or whether they have learned to race with him, we're going to see as this race unwinds. Yeah, and that is, that's the whole point. And the younger riders that are learning can follow in their footsteps. Oh, superb. Is that Mario Aggi up the inside? Somebody made the big move up the inside there, didn't they? Now, very, very troublesome season, but he really has found his form here in Valencia. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? A little bit in reserve, but certainly Alex Oskrig there in third place, going for second place. Again, going inside, drifting a little bit wide. He's drifted wide again, and the 64 of David Munoz.
Great shot there, 7 bikes. In formation.
And that was Oskrig.
Yeah, I just think I was...
Oh, and somebody's down. Is that Mario Aggi? I can't see. I hate to. Yeah, it might be. I thought I saw it.
A little bit too brave on the brakes. It wasn't really... He was passing, but he was costing himself and a lot of other riders' time. I'm not sure if Aggi got caught up in that one, but he's back on. And
he's picked the bike up, dusted it off, and he's back in the action. Of course, he's way to the back, and we'll see a replay here.
Yeah, Aggi must be on the outside somewhere. Oh, yeah. That's it. He must have dropped back a few positions on there because he was
10 laps to go, just 7 laps gone. There's plenty of action left in this, but it's Izan Guevara who now leads for the first time this afternoon.
Yeah, reshuffle there. Pedro Costa, the championship winner, just been shuffled back to...
So far, touch wood. I mean, we're only not even halfway through this race, but it's looked very, very fair, hasn't it?
Yeah, very fair, but very busy and, yeah, as usual, pretty much unpredictable.
An 89 there, Marcus Uriarte. He had a really good ride in the race yesterday. He's at the back of that group and off on the green stuff, so he's in the second half of the race. So the 64 of David Munoz has the advantage of the number 80 of David Alonso. Pedro Acosta back up into third place, ahead of Izan Guevara, who slipped back. David
Alonso back to the front. Yeah, it's so tight for these final positions.
Yeah,
Alonso, yeah, from flagman and Alonso would finish in second.
Oh, look at that. That's 4 abreast into the... Hey, my goodness, they can't all get round there. But they have. You know, got to temper it a bit because he gets himself into trouble going to the corner too deep, and he's obviously listened exactly to what you said, Neil, because he's now leading the race.
Yeah, well, if you see an opportunity, and quite often you've got to pass or beat pass.
Acosta back to 6th place, so Oskrig very much still in the running, but it is yesterday's winner over the poster. Too much action to sort it out at the moment, but all I can tell you is that yesterday's winner is going for the double. David Munoz. Olgado is there on 96. This is where he ran, and somebody's gone down. 2 fallers on the final lap. One of those is the 80 of David Alonso. Somebody else went wide down, or at least wide, and it's left it now. Goes down the inside. Can he get it stopped? Can he get it turned? But 64 is superb on the drive out of this corner. He knows how to do it. He did it yesterday for the win, and he's done it again. David Munoz is going to win. He's going to make it the double. David Munoz takes the second Rookies Cup win of the weekend. Holgado is second ahead of Acosta, Guevara, Uriarte. Wow, what a sensational race. Agreed for second place in the Cup, and I don't think it was his fault. I think somebody else. We'll see a replay, doubtless, but that is just bad luck, and he's... you know, he's made a couple of mistakes.
And they're just everyone scrabbling for positions, yeah.
And it was 24 there. 24, it was even Ortola. And Ortola actually, of course, managed to cross the line in 10th place. Such bad luck for David Alonso.
Everyone's just getting backed up there. It wasn't really anybody's fault. It was just riders all over the place, and Ortola he's at the back of the script. He just nips around the inside. Thankfully avoids all the carnage.
Yeah, and I think actually, did David Alonso have to back off?
Get a nice drive, then he would beat him to the line. So
yeah, it was exactly the same, that knowledge that he gained or already knew last weekend, the drive out of that last corner.
This is the coming around a long left-hander. Daniel Garda down the inside, had to do that, trying to pull it back. He was a little bit late. David Munoz using the inside, the orange and white paint, just got a nice...
Garda didn't do anything wrong, did he? He had to make that move,
and he
didn't experience, yeah. We called it then a rookie's mistake, but anyway. Certainly, Right, and there's confirmation of the results. Another Spaniard, Ivan Ortola. Scott picking up 11th. Show Nishimura, good to see him.